Hey everyone, welcome back to Lehto Files. I'm Chris Lehto, and today I have Andy from that UFO podcast. We just got back from the SOL Symposium in Lago Maggiore. That was where some of the world's top researchers, scientists, and experiencers all came together to talk about UAPs, consciousness, and really the future of the field and disclosure. I thought it was an incredible few days. It was packed with high-level discussions. We had some new data and a lot of behind-the-scenes moments that I think you won't hear anywhere else. So today, we're going to break it all down. Thanks, Andy, for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chris. Pleasure to be on.
Excellent. And so I brought your book, your new book, Atlas of Unidentified Flying Objects, all the way to Italy to have you sign it. And then I saw you the first day, and then I just never saw you again. I heard you make some questions, but where were you that whole time?
Mate, it was incredibly busy for everyone being in one hotel and one bar area mainly. It was a big hotel. I didn't even realize until the third day that it had a tunnel system underneath the hotel which connected. Did you know this?
No, I never even knew that. No.
The hotel along the street, couple of 100 yards, is connected to the hotel, and they have a tunnel system, and that's what connected. You know, when we go along the big long corridor between the atrium and the lunch hall and stuff, you could go down a set of stairs and walk basically under the street to the next hotel. So yeah, it was huge, and it was like you say. I saw you the first night you came over and said hi. And then it was really easy with the crowds of people to then not see someone for days. And unfortunately, I had to leave early on the Monday morning. So there was a few people that I meant to catch up with before I left, and I didn't get the chance. But yeah, it was incredibly busy, very rewarding. I think I personally got a lot from it. And I know people are really keen to hear what actually attending these events is like, because that was my first real proper UFO conference, if you want to call it that. I've not been to Contact in the Desert, Awakening, all that kind of stuff. I've been to one or two local things in the UK a few years ago, but this is the first time attending an event like this with the names and the people. So yeah, I'm really happy to get into it.
Yeah, it was my first event as well. You know, living over in Europe, it's just difficult to get over to the US. It's so far. And so it was great. This was the first year they did it over here. The first two were in San Francisco. And so, I thought it was fantastic. What was your overall impression of the SOL Symposium?
Yeah,
did anything really surprise you?
Really, in terms of the event, really professional, incredibly well structured. Big shout out to Marek von Rennenkamp, who was the master of ceremonies and had a very difficult job keeping a lot of folks who like to speak on time. Which was, I think, one of my kind of cheeky highlights was seeing Marek at the side of a stage constantly telling folks, you have to finish, get off the stage. So yeah, I was really looking forward to some of those bigger names, Jake Barber, Carl Nell, and Diana Pasulka, many of which were speaking on day one. But I think there were some real gems in there as well. Christian Peters, I've heard speak on a couple of occasions now. It was really interesting, discussing UAP secrecy, disclosure, and political realism. I heard him speak at the University of Durham back in April of this year. Really interesting guy. Quite like to get him on the podcast. If that was someone I think you'd be good to speak with as well, Chris, to be honest. And then getting to hear people like Fabio De Masi, members of European Parliament. So that was for me in terms of the talk. A lot of interesting discussions. But I think separately, and this is maybe the stuff folks listening or watching don't like to hear, but a lot of the interesting chats and the impacts from the event probably happen away from cameras, away from people like me and yourself, Chris, but the folks who are talking on stage, suggesting policy, suggesting working together, suggesting new partnerships or ventures. They then have those conversations over meals, over drinks at the bar, carrying on privately. And I think that for me, you got a feeling that there's going to be impact off the back of it. And if people really want the kind of gossipy stuff, you get to speak to folks who are speakers or not speakers, and they suggest that, you know, there are things happening still, there are things coming down the pipeline. Just because the UAP Disclosure Act is once again dead on arrival doesn't mean things have stalled in it. Yeah, so I think the whistleblower direction for me is what I took from it. It's still something that's going to bear some fruit.
Chatting with Ryan Graves in the bar, I was surprised how much is actually going on behind the scenes. You know, just even being a podcaster in the space, and he was a podcaster, and I just had no idea everything else he was doing in the background that didn't work out. That venture capital fund he tried to start for UFOs, and multiple other ventures. And he was surprisingly optimistic on what's happening. So you get different views, like you just mentioned, Disclosure Act. There's like this downtrodden kind of feeling in the space, but then talk to some of these people like Ryan Graves behind the scenes, and he's like, there is so much going on that we just can't even discuss. You don't want to discuss things you're working on that ultimately don't come to fruition.
Yeah,
but
I had folks as well, Chris, come up to me who listened to the podcast, and I'm pretty sure probably listen to you or watch you as well if they do me, and they work for space agencies, or they worked for 3-letter agencies, and they would introduce themselves. And I mentioned on my own podcast, Chris, that there was a section at the back of the hall to the right-hand side where you weren't allowed to film or take pictures. All the media was in front of that, and there were people from those agencies who were there who didn't want to be on camera. So again, there's a lot of important folks, influential folks who are attending these events who you don't know attend these events. And to be honest, I don't even know when they come and introduce themselves to me, other than they hand me a business card and say, listen to the podcast, enjoy what you do. I'm not here officially, but really interesting event. So that kind of stuff, I think, should give people a little bit of hope and optimism.
Yeah, that was a highlight for me, definitely, is meeting people in person. You already mentioned Ryan Graves, so I met Tim Ventura. That was interesting. He's like jacked in real life.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, and meeting so many other people, and then even afterwards, like you said, it was such a large venue. I saw expos like Hollywood. I didn't get to meet her. There were so many people I didn't meet, and then just riding back in the van, randomly taking the van to the airport, sat with an engineer scientist working for the Galileo project. Basically running that. And then the other guy sitting across from me was a world famous geophysicist, flies all around the world. Talked to other John Norman, he's running the UFO event, like museum event, disclosure event, that he's going to try and travel around the US, talking to him about just how difficult it is. No one wants to be the first to host the UFO disclosure event, at their museum or at their Johnson Space Center, etc. And then meeting all the Europeans, that was really interesting as well. So a lot of the Europeans I've actually interviewed. Fred Pallison, he runs Project Hestalin. That was great, as well as the Ukrainian contingent. Did you get to meet the Ukrainians?
So that was a really interesting one. I'm glad you brought that up. I was walking across the kind of lobby, and one of the listeners from the podcast, who I did not know was there, came up to say hello, and he was like, I've just been in the talks with the Ukrainian guys. And I was like, what Ukrainian talk? And, I've got the program, the program for the symposium. And I'm looking, going, it was downstairs in a different room. And all the talks were in one room. So it was a case of you were in the venue for the day. But the hotel was huge. And they took me downstairs to the room. The talk had just finished. I know Ryan Graves attended that talk, as did a few other folks. It was a bit impromptu, I'm told. And then I got to meet them after the fact and speak to one of the guys, and they were telling me about what the work they were doing with the Ukrainian government, how difficult it was, though, to have these conversations in the middle of an active war zone and in an active wartime. They'd all served their time in the Ukrainian military as well. They're going back and forward, trying to raise awareness in a very, very difficult circumstance. But I'm told they had some really interesting footage to present as part of the presentation.
Yeah, I actually missed the presentation. I was just like you, I went down to the end right when they were finishing. But I met them in Norway when they were there for the Project Hestalin, and I interviewed them. And so I knew about their little device that they bury that has all the sensors, kind of like a MUPAS sensor. And I made a few videos on some of their frontline footage. They're also, this year, they're releasing a journal, a science journal, every 5 years. They publish it in Ukrainian and English. And so anyone, listeners as well, can publish to that. It's a Scora. I'll put a link in the description to their website. You can send your own science paper related to UFOs, and they will review it and publish it in both Ukrainian and English. So I thought, everyone there was like somebody, or extremely interested in the subject. So that was really amazing. I really liked Jake Barber's discussion. It was just so direct. I'd recommend anyone actually watch that, the full interview, as well as it's really unfortunate. I think the highlight for me, I think for out of any of the speakers, was Jeff Nusatelli. And unfortunately, he was the last one. It was the third day on Monday, and a lot of people had already left. So they had actually made the room smaller. They added like these separators, made the room smaller. But his speech to me was the most emotional. It was the most direct. We were we gave him clapping ovation at the end. It was really unbelievable.